Hey guys, let's wait a couple of minutes. Oh, great. We have Dave. Welcome back, man. Are you guys seeing my screen? I guess I'm sharing already.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so yeah, let's get started. As always, to remind that we need to agree and be aware of this antitrust policy from Hyperledger before really participating on the call, and also to apply and read or make sure to read the code of conduct that is defined here. We'll share the links later, I guess. We have a couple of things to update you guys on. So we'll go through some brief introduction in the following slide. I'll also get us introduced to the new roadmap that we are going to be working on. And also we will have, as usual, a section for the maintainers and community growth to continue making this community bigger and better. And also the typical questions and answers at the end, where everyone can bring any topic. Feel free also to stop me during the presentation. Then updates. There's 2 or 3 cool things that are happening, to be honest. So one of the things is, as part of IOE, we cannot do more than 6 catalyst proposals, and we got granted 2. Got granted what it means. We got permission to create the catalyst proposal on idea scale, which doesn't mean that we get granted. So let me correct on that. What are the 2 proposals that we thought that we would bring value? We had like 4 or 5 different ones, and these 2 got like kind of approved. So one is going to be working on a VDR that is going to be interchangeable. What we mean by that is that we will create the concept of a VDR with an API, and we will define the concept also of a driver, which is responsible of defining where and how to fetch the resources. And one of the VDRs, obviously, of course, that we are going to be implementing is on Cardano directly. So we are going to be able to write revocation registries, credential schemas, and credential definitions directly on Cardano. But also, as this is a driver interface, everything is going to be documented in a way that you can pick it up and implement another use case like IAGON, IPFS, or something like that. The second one is about a component that we were already planning to make it public, and it is the Identus sandbox, which is basically a service that you can log in with your GitHub and gives you access to all the identity tools, including the issuer, the mediator, and the Prism node. And we are planning to bring this and maintain it for over a year, not just maintain it, but also make it closer to Cardano, in the sense that it will be using at least a Cardano testnet node and not an in-memory or a database one as it is using now. Then another thing that we are going to give an update is on these last 2 points, but mainly we are going to start using GitHub projects and be transparent on the ways that we are going to work on. So using GitHub projects will give clear visibility and transparency on the things that we work. And then the last one is like, how can we start having discussions about the features that we want to build in this platform, and like open a debate around this. Then second, around the roadmap, there is a shift really in mindset, and we are like focusing on the 3 or 4 rules that we know that we need to satisfy, and this is helping us to drive the roadmap further. On one side is that we are going to do this in a very open and collaborative way, and we thought that opening GitHub discussions in that repository that is listed there would be a good start. So I encourage everyone to participate and bring their opinions. Also, we want to simplify the maintenance costs and make everything easier to deploy and cheaper to use so that we can have higher adoption. And this is going to be our focus. Anything that we can do to put, for example, not required to have configuration scripts or deployment scripts, but instead have everything bundled in a single Docker image, plus having ways of still going and applying for these advanced deployments that have additional components, but mainly focusing on the immediate use. Like if a user joins the platform, we would like them to get quicker to work on identity and make it easier for everyone. Then on point C, we are talking about creating concrete use case examples. We created a quick started guide, but we feel it's not enough because it's too generic. And instead, we want to use like specific use case examples and cover them from start to end. So it is really easy to start from that use case example and build your own project from that. Then, of course, as part of IOE, we are still working with Midnight and Lace to try, well, mainly Midnight, but we wish that in the following months, we are capable of starting the conversations with Lace and Midnight to continue integrating identity into their products. And this is a company-wide objective. And then interoperability with other systems. What we mean here is that we are exploring potentially, and of course, we will include the whole community in those discussions, but we are exploring on allowing the developers to use other DIT methods, for example, or in case of the VDR, using other blockchains to use these identity products and write these operations on other chains and stuff like that. Then in terms of community and all that, well, all that, no, sorry. In terms of community growth and maintainers, I would like to insist that we are going to start having an open debates and workshops. And it is very important that you participate and help us spread. Then whenever you start seeing that we start having discussions around products or features that you've always envisioned that we should have, it's also great to have your feedback and input. And the last 3 elements are just the classic ones that we had before, like help us on finding bugs or maybe addressing some documentation contribution so far would be extremely useful for us. Yeah, that's kind of all the news that I had. I'm not sure if I did it really quickly. I apologize for that. We'll get better over time. But yeah, feel free to raise any question or concern about what we saw. I'm not sure I can read the chat. Hold on. I cannot find it. Yep, somebody raised the hand, so yeah, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
So to help out with the documentation, where would there be a list of documentation needs, what you're looking to have written down, and
So
where would I find it?
yeah, correct. It is not like a concrete need that we need to document a specific area that is 0 documented, but it is more about, it is really useful whenever you guys find that there is a missing step that is not documented while working on your project. Like adding the GitHub issue is the first step, and this is extremely helpful for us, but it is even more helpful to start contributing to this documentation rather than the code, right? I think that as a start, if you guys can initially make like what I'm seeing personally, most of the teams start by making small contributions to the repositories, which usually tend to be like doc updates and stuff like that. And further, they will probably join and do changes in the code, if that makes sense. Your turn, Aaron. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but yeah, feel free, go ahead, please.
Hi everyone, I'm calling from the UK. So my name is Aaron, I'm a pharmacist based in London. I just want to give a shout out to John for letting me know about this meeting. Very excited about Identus and the potential integration with Midnight for ZKP use case in healthcare. So yeah, I just want to introduce myself, but yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you, man. Welcome. You know, I removed from today's presentation the introduction section because I was not sure. And yeah, you know, today that I removed it, we have a new person to welcome. So yeah, welcome, man. Happy to help you. Cool. Well, I don't see many participants today. But yeah, let's continue working on that. I think that it is going to be really important to take these decisions together as a collective, and it will help us a lot to better define the next phase for the Identus. Yuri or anyone in the team, do you guys want to add anything, or Daniel? If not, I think yeah, we can just finish it here.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I just wanted to maybe get a gut check from everyone here. So because Catalyst proposals are the revised ones are due tomorrow. Roberto and I had put in two proposals. And I guess I would like some initial feedback, even if the feedback is completely negative from the team. We would like to help, and there's some features that we commercially as cSign would really like to get prioritized. And of course, we understand now that there's things on the roadmap that may totally fairly be deprioritized. And so we put two proposals in basically just to help. However, of course, we know that we would need to upskill in order to actually help out. If you have any feedback now, while we can still change the proposal, that's fine. Also knowing that these proposals won't get funded if we win until January. So
Yeah.
that's another time and space in the universe, it seems. But we want to help out on DWN, decentralized web nodes. Also, we would love to help finish up SD-JOT credential stuff. We know that the revocation is still on the table, and edge-to-edge agent communication is there. And so
Yep.
we put two different proposals for those. And so again, we don't know Scala yet, but just curious if you have any advice on how we can help. The other possibility is that we get funded and it becomes more of a learning project, and we learn enough to make a PR and you guys take it from there. Does that sound reasonable, or are we in over our heads?
Totally reasonable, and the features like look aligned more or less in what we want to build. Like we are now no longer maybe going to prioritize SDGWT from our side. Doesn't mean that we are going to remove it in any way. So it is really helpful. So what we are going to start doing is, first of all, open the discussion, and second, be transparent on the roadmap, right? So anyone will be able to participate on building the roadmap together. And this may be a good example, like SDGWT and finishing that. On the edge side, it's already completed, and I think on the agent side too. But we may want to do some improvements. And in these improvements is where you guys could get involved. And if you want to share them now in the chat, like feel free, man.
Okay,
I am
great.
going to review the two that we have also this afternoon to make sure that I've got everything ready for tomorrow. But yeah, feel free, man. This is as yours as mine as anyone else. So Please, Sherman.
I mean, we still
Uh,
have 45 minutes, so
Yeah, totally.
for me, it would be also nice to present it here if you want any concrete opinions now. We can just go on the call and continue discussing those proposals with anyone, unless there is more questions right now.
Okay, I'm pasting in both now, so these are a little rough. We plan on making them a little better today, but those are the two that we're submitting.
Yeah,
there's-
as far as I know, like the first one for SDGWT, like I understand because we've not been very noisy, but so far the only thing that is missing is the revocation registry for SDGWT, but the rest in theory is done or almost done, except for the edge verification, which is completed in Swift, but not on KMM and TS.
Okay, but the edge verification, that's between the edge and the cloud, right? I thought from the last meeting that they said that edge to edge was not yet supported.
Not yet, but almost. It's very close.
Oh, okay. So is that something that would be on pause for you guys too? Because that's all we're proposing in this is revocation and then edge to edge, assuming the rest is already done.
Well, to be honest, in the edge, like Swift is completed already. Like
Okay.
TS was having an issue with Apollo with the cryptographic package, and as soon as we have some time to fix that, we can get it out. And KMM, I think, was a little bit behind.
Got it.
But what I mean is that we got things in place to make it easier to integrate and to collaborate because we have the knowledge to in at least one of the platforms.
Right, exactly. Okay. Okay, that helps. What we may do, if this is okay, is we can certainly alter it a little bit. We may put this out there, and if we get funded, it will just be basically an excuse to really like ramp up and learn about that stuff. Again, if this comes out to January and things get deprioritized on your side, it will take us a while. And we've got it in the milestones to basically upskill at that point. So starting with a sort of BDD and like how this would work and just learning the system, getting more integrated in hopes of being able to contribute in general. And sort of this being like an easy way to get started since it's already almost done. That's sort of what we're thinking.
Correct.
Okay. And the DWN thing, of course, that probably starts from scratch and requires, a bigger lift. And so the proposal right now is somewhat generic because we don't know necessarily how it would integrate right away. But it is something that we would like and we would use commercially. So there's also a very sort of generic, non-specific timeline there. But again, the goal would be to sort of figure out how to work in the project. And both of these basically just get to the only deliverable is a PR. There's no expectation of having it merged, although of course we would like that. But if we create a PR and nobody likes it, we can't guarantee that. So the output is just a PR on both of these.
So I do have a question about the completing the revocation part of selective disclosure GWT. I didn't read the full proposal, but one of the things that the specification of that specs requires for the revocation is a status list. And as far as I know, currently there is no implementation for that status list specs. So I may be wrong, but so that needs first to be solved.
Which maybe in line with this, like if he gets funded, he will probably work in 4 months. Like maybe, Santa brings this for Christmas. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm,
making
I'm just
fun.
pointing out stuff that needs to be
Yeah,
solved,
yeah.
or probably other teams are already trying to solve those.
Very good point, Fabio.
Fabio, there is a specification for the status list.
There is a specification, there is not an implementation for it. And the note that the status list in GWT is completely different from the status list on GWT for VC. There are two status lists that are different specs. So just be careful with that.
There is. So I sent in here what is the status list on the W3C, right? 2021. I sent in a shot. That's the specification.
So the idea is that the spec that you sent, the W3C spec, should be implemented into Identus before revocation can be fully added. Is that the idea? I'm just repeating, sorry.
I'm not sure, like we should better review because yeah. I see that there is, for example, like in this documentation that Gonzalo shared, in section 9.1.2, a status list verifiable credential, and it has credential and it has different signature algorithms, and one specifies SD and is empty. And I cannot see any example of SDGWT there, but still it was one of the options that we were exploring. The point is that there is no official implementation for SDGWT with a concrete
I think there is a misconception, and I can go further in other call, but there is a misconception. When I talked with the specification that we found online, right? I talked with the guys in there, and they provided me a specification that is for JWT, right? Well, actually, no, sorry, for the verifiable credentials and how to secure them on the JWT and SDJWT. So what happens is whatever goes in a verifiable credential model, like VCDM 2.0, let's say, it can be encoded in SDJWT or JWT. And this includes the status list.
Okay, I think we can continue this discussion on
I can find
Discord.
in here if you guys want. Give me just a second.
Thank you for the information. As is clear here, Roberto and I are not super deep into what's required to pull these things off. This was just our last chance at getting community funding to help out. So
Yeah.
we look forward to learning all of these details in the case that, and even if we don't get funded, we're open to helping with this. So we'll be active in that conversation to learn and see if we can help. So thank you.
Yeah, of course, thank you. And we can continue this discussion on Discord, because this is something that I think that everyone in Identus would like to have. So eventually we will need to implement it.
Yuri?
Yes, guys, I just wanted to say that all these points are valid, and SDGLD specification, at least one that I'm looking at, defines kind of flexibility and can be extended to support revocation. In the specification from IETF.org, I will send a link. There is a definition of status provider, which is a kind of abstraction that can be used to use to get the information about status of the credential, is it revoked or not. And another mention about revocation I found in Vault ID documentation, but they use kind of extended metadata in the SDGLBT credentials, where they define the type of additional flavor or resource that might contain the information about status list. The difficulties that we have with SDGLBT is also related to the nature of these credentials, because the current specification points to additional privacy protection, and probably that's why they don't recommend concrete solution for revocation, and it's up to concrete implementer. So I would say that we are open for suggestions, and as Fabio mentioned, we can continue the discussion in the Discord channel. Probably we can create some thread, or how it's called in Discord, to brainstorm the concrete solution.
Yeah, one point is this Discord, maybe, I'm not sure if Discord or GitHub would be more useful, but yeah, I agree that we need to have an open debate about this.
So I left in here the specification that basically you can implement VC in any Jose or Cose specification. So this includes JWT, SDJWT, and so on. And this is for VC data model 2.0. And that includes the status list. So the specification exists.
And not only one, I would say. That's why it's better to choose.
No, actually, there was another specification, right? That is this one. Yeah. There was another specification that is this one.
But very funnily, this draft is created in 10th of October of 2024, like 5 days ago.
So yeah, Yuri, that specification, I asked the guys that are writing that specification, and that specification specifically says it's not for VCDM 2.0. And the guys were the ones that pointed me for the VC Jose Cose, the guys that are writing that specification. So that specification that you sent in there, it's not for us. It's a different kind of specification.
Okay. I'm ready to read another spec. It's okay. Absolutely okay. I just want to say that the nature of SDGLBT credential is focused on privacy, and they don't. It's kind of small to implement the kind of call home pattern, because this status list is usually approached when someone must call the issuer to get the status, and it's kind of breaks privacy in according to the spec that I read. But yeah, we can implement any method. You just define all pros and cons. Yes, I'm done. Who's raising the hand?
Cool. So yeah, if there's nothing, I guess that we can stop the call now, but feel free to asking us or raise any question on Discord or contact us in the channels that you already have. So yeah, thank you guys. See you next week.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kavi. Thank you, guys.
Ciao.